Welcome to Short Scale Modelling. This is part 8 of Tamiya's US Enterprise Aircraft Carrier, CVN65. Scale is 1 to 350. So in part 8, I'm going to be working a bit more on the deck, and with luck I'll be able to get it attached in this video. So let's jump in and see how well I get on. So the first thing to do is take the elevator platforms and just tighten up. There's a tiny little bit of flashing on these, nothing to worry about. So just running my knife over the leading edge to make everything nice and smooth. The bottom section gets fitted to this, that just slots in. It's a really nice tight fit. Now once that's in place, the guard goes on at the back there. There's 3 location points for this to sit into. And it just pushes in. And then I'm using Tamiya's XS63 German Grey to paint the mesh that runs along the leading edge. I don't know whether this is a safety mesh or what purpose it serves. I would imagine it's some sort of safety area. But as you can see, I've got 3 to make up. Then it's back to the flight decks. Now, as I said in the previous videos, the deck is made up of 3 sections. Each section has these little units put on. Now the instructions call them retrievers. I don't know what they are for. It's probably not the proper name either. I found that out with the spoonsons. They're not called that seemingly, and that confused a few people. So I can only apologise for that, but I have no idea what the proper name is. I'm just saying what the part lists are calling them. But there you go. I'll learn what they're called through time, I suppose. So anyway, these just get placed on. There's little location points for each one. There's 2 different types, one larger than the other. So pay attention to the instructions as always, so you get them in the right location and the proper unit. The next part I'm working on is this area for the foredeck. Like the other parts we put in, these stick out from the flight deck and the hull of the ship. I'm just painting them on the sprue. This is just for ease of handling. And I'm using Humbrol's 127 US Coarse Grey for this. I'm currently painting the underside of these, but the top side is much the same. I can now turn my attention to the foredeck and get ready to place this on. Now you may have noticed I'm using a different type of cement here, and I'm using Tamiya's normal cement, not really the extra thin, the actual normal one. The reason why I'm using that is because of the brush applicator. It just gives me a wider spread. It's quite a large area to cement down, so I need a wider spread for this. And it just slots on the top. It's a really good fit actually once you get into position. And the good thing about this cement, like most cements, it gives you time to readjust if necessary. And it's vitally important that you get this on straight because of the other flight deck that's going on to link in with it. Then once it's on, I let it dry for several hours before placing on these 2 parts here. These are the ones that I painted on the sprue. They need tidying up a bit, but I'm comfortable to do that while they're in position. I should have done it before I placed them on, tell you the truth, but I just didn't think about it at the time. Onto the aft deck now, and I'm going to be placing in the catchers that the aircraft use when they're coming into land. The kit does supply this. This is it's like a nylon plastic coil that they supply it. But if you don't have this, a piece of fishing line would work as well. They're fairly simple to fit in. I'm using a sewing kit's threader here to grab them through the hole. It's just a little bit of kit that seamstress and I use. It's got a soft metal loop on one end, and you just put it in the hole, then pass the thread or line through it, then pull it back out and it comes out the hole. I'll often use one of these when I'm building a wooden ship for the rigging. So it's ideal for something like this. And once I've got both ends through, I'll just simply tie it in a knot. I use a slip knot and then pull one side until it's completely taut. And then I'll just use a little bit of super glue just to attach the knot so it doesn't come loose. And I'll just secure the tail ends with a little bit of masking tape so everything is stable in the one position while the glue's in. The reason why I didn't do it before placing the glue in, I had to keep it taut before the glue was actually on. But as you can see there on the working side, it's 100% tight, so there's no sagging and whatsoever on it. And just like the foredeck, there's one or two little pieces to place on. Needless to say, you really should get these in the proper position as well. The back end of these will butt up against the hull and it will act as stabilizer for the deck on the hull. So make sure they're all in alignment. And I'm satisfied everything's in correctly. I'm using 127 Ghost Grey by Humbrol and Tamiya's XF63 Genuine Grey once again to paint in the details. And now the block colours are in, I can start using my detail brush to bring out all the details. So the framework will be having the light grey, the gross grey running through it and so on. I didn't notice before painting, but there's a little bit of cleaning work to do. It's just the connection points from the sprue. There's two I missed off, I just didn't see them, but they were easy enough to sort out. On the middle section of the flight deck, there's two more catchers to go on, and they're exactly put on the same way as the ones on the aft deck. So hopefully you can see them there. So there's 4 in total, 2 on the aft and 2 on the middle section. So it's back to the sprue, and I'm using once more Humbrol 127 US Ghost Grey, and I'm repainting the little life pod things that I initially painted white. I later discovered that was the wrong colour and they had to be the light grey colour. That also applies to the ones that are already attached on the Sea Sparrow launcher platforms. It wasn't a big deal to overpaint them. Because they were white, the grey comes up quite nicely on it. Then it's back to the middle section of the flight deck, and I'm placing in all the little bits and pieces. A couple of exceptions. This part here, now the instructions are calling this a side radar. The two halves are placed together to form this rectangular box with a rail around it. And once that's made up, it goes on just at the leading edge, the same as the other parts of the furniture. The one elevator that isn't movable, that gets its backing plate on, and if it's just as well as the other ones, but this one doesn't move. I think it's a shame that you don't have the option to move this one, but that's how it goes. I would imagine you'd be able to cut this out if you so wished. Now everything is dry, it's time to fit the elevators. Now each one has a little lip to coincide with the runners at the sides here, and they just slot in. Now, to be honest with you, they're not 100% tight. I would have liked them tighter or on the fit. The instructions give you the option to have them raised or lowered, but I would have preferred the options to have them up and down whenever, however you felt. You know, you can move them up one day and down the other if you wished. So they were a complete movable part. Not really an option to do that because they're a bit slack. So you're going to have to get these cemented in position once you're happy with whatever position you want to put them in. Nevertheless, they're in now, and it's time to fit the next section of flight deck. So this is the middle section. Interestingly, the instructions want you to fit this piece last. After a couple of dry fittings, I decided to fit it now before I place in the aft section. Now, I would imagine this is because if you are indeed putting a RC motor in here or something like that, this section will then lift off, enabling you to get into the motor workings. Hence why they don't well, that's why they tell you to place it in last. It is actually held in with a couple of screws as well. Now, I haven't placed them on as of yet. I'm not sure whether I will do or not, depending how I put the blast shields on for the aircraft. Now, I did fit a couple of clamps to this, not really necessary, but I wanted it stable while I fitted the flight deck, and I didn't want to wait until it was completely dry before I fitted it, just in case there was adjustments needing to be made. And now it's time to fit the aft deck. Now, I had a slight problem with this. I think the plastic warped slightly. Um, Nothing too major, though, I'm glad to say. All it meant was I had to put the end part under a heavier clamp than I would have liked, because it bowed up slightly, which was a little bit annoying, but I'm surprised it was only that part that was slightly out of shape. And all it's left to do on this part of the video is to place the aft deck in. The location points for this at the back, the two lugs, those go under the metal brace that was put in place. There's a couple of runs it sits under. That, thinking about it, that's what may have caused the aft deck to bow off slightly. I'm not 100% sure, but I did, and as I said, it was an easy fix. I just had to put down a more heavier clamp to keep it in place. So while I'm doing this, why don't you go and check the channel after you've watched this? Maybe there's something there that would hold your interest. And if you like what you see, why don't you subscribe to the channel? But if you do subscribe to the channel, it'd be helpful if you click the notification bell. It helps me, and also you'll be notified of any new videos for this build, as well as all my future builds as well, of course. Hit the like button. Don't be afraid to leave a comment, and of course you can share the video. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.